What issues matter most to you in Arizona? And you can just pick one issue if you want.
Public spending of public spending of taxpayer money. That's pretty much always what it is.
For me, immigration, I'm an attorney, and I work a lot with people who, don't have status or it's in flux. So I think that just finding a solution would really be helpful for a lot of people who are just kind of in limbo.
Free and fair elections.
Something like this, I think, inspires the thing that I'm trying to, communicate right now. Meetings like this where we can discuss about things publicly and in person is way more gratifying and I think crucial during our times.
The main ones are things like healthcare. Obviously, I work in healthcare. I've been working in healthcare for 6 years. I'm definitely interested in improving the current system that we have in Arizona and across the United States.
Well, immigration is a big deal here in Arizona. It's something that we need to address. So the issue of education is really important to us, not just like higher education because we're law students, but like public education for high schools. Recently, Arizona expanded their empowerment scholarship, and that's just, it's disheartening because of the fact that it means more public money is going to private institutions, and our public schools are already hurting, so that's an important issue.
I guess an important issue for me is bringing issues in the forefront from Indian country. As you saw, across the nation, especially with No DAPL, you had a lot of, No DAPL was started by young kids. They were young, they were teenagers, and that is kind of the voice of our generation right now, is these ideas of wanting to bring people into that political sphere and having politics hear us rather than politics just dictating between themselves.
I would say definitely, particularly for younger generations, is just participation.
In what we're doing here today, where we're getting young people involved, thinking about politics, the amount of friends that I have from undergrad, luckily not so much at law school, who don't know anything that's going on in the world.
A follow-up to the presentation, was there anything that surprised you? Or also I'm curious about your thoughts, the next steps that millennials can take in terms of acting upon some of the issues that are brought up.
You want to go first? Yeah. Since you've been through the program.
Sure. I think the biggest shocker, and I've heard this before because I've had the opportunity to hear Chris speak on this topic again, was at the very end. What's the number one problem in Arizona? Poverty, and then specifically in the Latino community. It's just something you don't hear about that. No one talks about it, but it's a reality, and the numbers don't lie. So whether you like it or not, that is our reality.
And I would just add, to have millennials actually run for office. Don't be afraid to make a difference. You have to actually, immerse yourself into the cause.
I think millennials, we have a serious issue with doing everything through social media and through our platforms, and that's a really great way. We've seen with Donald Trump, right? A really great way to connect with a large amount of people in a base, but it's not a great place to have substantive discussion.
So it really surprised me that there's such a large, almost an independent majority in this state. And I think reflecting back, it probably makes sense because I think a lot of us as millennials, we kind of split the baby on a lot of issues. And so in retrospect, it makes more sense. But I think if we are these kind of independents, we need to go out and get more involved, as they've talked about, but take on some kind of public service and show that not only do we have these beliefs, but we can exercise these beliefs too.